All right, everyone. Ericadams about to make Joe Biden's life a living hell. He's slashing city services and the size of the NYPD below its already low mark, by the way, because the city has run out of money effectively and has no choice because they're forced to house hundreds of thousands of illegals and asylum seekers in New York City now. And so city services will be on kind of a brownout mode. Again, I don't believe in coincidental timing, generally speaking. So when the FBI decides to raid Ericadams' home, or was it his office? I can't remember, but probably both, actually, and his campaign finance manager just before that. And it comes right in the wake of Ericadams bitching about the migrant problem in New York City and the border crisis, and how it's impacting New York City and to an extent the state. It's beginning to seep into outlying areas as well. He does that, he gets raided. Then a few days after he gets raided, he very visibly comes out to deliver an almost self-deprecating platform. Hey guys, I'm sorry, New York City's out of money. It's Joe's fault, by the way. That's a coincidental timing, yeah, really. And so we're going to have to lower the size of the NYPD while crime is rising. We're also going to have to axe a bunch of city services. Sorry about that. We have to house and feed all of these fucking people, and we just don't have the resources, so screw you, New York City. This is effectively career suicide for Ericadams, just to be clear. He's decided that on his way out, he's going to light a match. That is quite clear. The behind-the-scenes bants between Team Ericadams and Team Biden must be like goddamn fucking habanero level spicy, or Reaper pepper level spicy, probably. It must be insane. This is effectively his parting shot. Well, Joe, yeah, you want to take me down for telling people that there was actually a problem and you get all spicy about it? Well, fuck you then. He might be successful. Imagine that you managed to swing a bunch of New York City voters against the Democratic Party for their incompetence. Ericadams can always come out with an op-ed saying, look, I don't control the southern border. A bunch of Biden failed to protect us from evil GOP governors and from his own incompetence. He could do that right now and really mess with Joe Biden. He desperately needs not to lose too much more support in New York State, because New York State is no longer nearly as blue as it was 10 years ago. If anything, New York is slowly beginning to look like we may actually see that magical tipping point where it becomes a goddamn swing state. I mean, when the population of New York is already grumbling, now the mayor's telling them there is no other solution. You're going to lose access to proper protection. You know, for a city with that many people in it, with that much sprawl, less than 30,000 law officers? Now, I have no problem with lowering enforcement and streamlining it. I believe that most things that are on the books shouldn't be against the law at all. Then you need fewer officers. But that's not what's being proposed here. It's just with our current legal framework, we're just going to go on brownout mode. Yeah, it won't take 30 minutes for them to respond to a homicide call. It'll take them 40 minutes now. Yeah, if they come at all. They might end up like Detroit. It might end up being sort of like a zombie city where services never really resume. There are no-go areas in the city of Detroit. And Detroit ain't as bad as some of the outlying areas. Go to Flint, for example, or some of those outlying areas, and, you know, it's basically like Mogadishu at this point. Constant gang violence and shit. New York City is screwed, and hopefully the voters there understand. The central source of this is in large part the Democratic Party's own dysfunctionality. Biden is incapable of providing the sort of national platform that also accedes to the needs of the various people of the various states and cities around the country. It's too top-heavy a platform. This is why you have the schismatic far-left schizoids like AOC and Rashida Tlaib, when in the same party as people like Joe Manchin or Kyrsten Sinema. The broad tent is no longer capable of covering all the clowns. And so there are clowns spilling out of the side of the tent. And they decided to one-up the idea of the clown car and just pack into that big tent until it was full to capacity. And they said, no, haha, we're having fun. Let's pack a few more in there. Take some of the clowns from the GOP tent over there. And then their tent collapsed, basically. New York City doing this this is very pointed. I'm sure that Ericadams was capable of doing this quietly and not announcing it to the public. That would have been possible to try to hoodwink them if he had his career in mind or something. This points to several facts. He knows he's guilty of the charge against him. I believe it's differential enforcement. I believe it's Biden's way of punishing him for speaking out against the border crisis. But he probably is guilty. So he's like, okay, I'm probably not getting reelected. I might even be going to prison. And it's because of Joe Biden not giving me the favor. I'm the fucking mayor of New York City. I'm a fairly important Democratic Party figure. He's making my life living hell. And then he decides to unleash his goons on me, knowing full well, show me the man, I'll show you the crime. So he knows that if he investigates anything that's been claimed as wrongdoing at that level, he's going to find evidence of it. So I'm going down. One way or the other. The voters will kick me out, or the FBI will drag me out. Thanks, Biden. What can I do to make his life hard? I'm going to make a really major announcement that New York City is effectively partially shutting down because of the dysfunction of Joe Biden's border policy. That'll help him. I'm going to return the favor. I'm going to make sure that he gets voted out. This is Ericadams backstabbing Joe Biden because Joe Biden already stabbed him. And I love it. This court intrigue level of drama is spectacular. It's so, I mean, I feel sorry for the people of New York City. I also feel sorry for the people that come to this country, illegally in most cases. Some of them are legit asylum seekers. They come here, and because the border is so porous, and because people are so socially alienated, you know, in yesteryear, there were plenty of people who said, well, we welcome migrants and stuff. We love these foreigners here. You know, you'll improve the food. We open an enchilada stand. Now it's mostly people being like, yeah, no, I think I didn't have a problem with it when it was 2 brown people on the street, but now the whole street is brown. And the white liberal NIMBYists are getting real pissed about that. Imagine that's your reception to the United States. You're told about how great it is. Like we have, you know, towers made of cheeseburgers and the streets are paved with onion rings. And you come here and you're in the bread line, packed into the migrant hotel. Everyone in the community is bitching about you 24/7. The government is using you as a political pawn. And then you start thinking, ah, shit, maybe I shouldn't have come. I'm wondering how many people actually genuinely self-deport after spending some time in the United States. Like, yeah, I have a lot more money here and stuff, but everyone fucking hates me. Can I really deal with this? It must be a weird experience, by the way. So Biden, when he saw this, he must have flipped his shit. He probably got so mad. He did that old man squinty thing and started yelling and yelled so hard he shit himself, probably. Maybe he just had his prune smoothie. Certainly aided him. There's a whole story about that in Orange Man Big, by the way. His name I'm actually allowed to use because he's a public official. That's about all. Peace out.